everyone, welcome back to our channel where we dive deep into the world of foot care. Today, we've got a special video packed with details where I'll walk you through a complete podiatry session with a patient dealing with painful calluses on both feet. We're going to cover the entire treatment process, from identifying the issues to the results after a few sessions. And here's the kicker. This patient has had surgeries on both feet, which makes this case even more fascinating. So, grab a coffee, get comfy, and join us on this journey of care and transformation. Ready? Let's dive in! Today I'm working with a patient who has quite a story with her feet. She's dealing with calluses that cause a lot of pain, especially on the big toe of each foot, where there are deep, hard cores. These calluses are so uncomfortable that she describes it as feeling like she's stepping on something sharp, like her skin is cracking. Can you imagine how tough it must be to feel that with every step? On top of that, she has calluses in several other areas of her feet, and the case gets even more complex because she had surgeries on both feet about 12 years ago to try to fix this issue. Those surgeries left scars that unfortunately not only didn't solve the callus problem but also brought additional complications. Check this out. On her right foot, you can see a noticeable scar from an old surgery. The area around the scar is hardened and the callus has come back with a vengeance. On the left foot, it's a similar story, another surgical scar also covered with calluses. This just goes to show that invasive procedures aren't always the best solution. Today, our goal is to treat these calluses on both feet, relieve her pain, and demonstrate how podiatry can make a difference without resorting to aggressive interventions. Ready to get started? Let's begin with the right foot, where the patient feels a lot of pain, especially on her big toe. Here we've got a callus with a well-defined core that's causing major discomfort. When I touch the area, I can see her flinch. It's a clear sign of how sensitive her foot is. This type of callus with a deep core might look small, but it's like having a pebble in your shoe all the time. Plus, there's excessive callus buildup on the side of the foot and the sole, right where she puts the most weight when walking. To start, I'm using a specialized podiatry blade, making precise movements to shave down the thickened keratin layer. Look at that. As I remove the tough skin, you can already see a difference in the texture. The patient says this area on her big toe, even with the old surgical scar, is especially painful. And it's no wonder. The scar itself is quite hard, and the callus that formed over it only increases the pressure when she steps. As I work, I explain to her that these scars from surgeries done 12 years ago can complicate treatment. When scar tissue forms on the sole of the foot, it tends to be less flexible, which makes calluses more likely to return. Check this out. On the right foot, you can clearly see the little hole where the callus formed. It looks small, but it's super uncomfortable. The patient confirms she feels pain even when wearing softer shoes. Now, let's move to the side of the right foot. Here, we've got another callus, but this one's more superficial, without a core. This is common in areas with constant friction, like when you wear improper footwear, such as flip-flops. I'm carefully shaving it down, and you can already see the skin getting smoother. The patient even smiles because her foot feels lighter. While I work on both feet, I want to share an important reflection with you all. A lot of people, when they feel pain from calluses, immediately think of surgery. But as we've seen with this patient, the surgeries she had on both feet 12 years ago didn't solve the problem. In fact, they left scars that hardened the skin and made calluses more likely to come back. Why? Because the sole of the foot, where we bear all our body weight, is very prone to forming calluses, especially if there are structural issues or bony prominences. When you have surgery, scar tissue can create a new foundation for calluses, almost like an invitation for them to return. In our patient's case, the scars on both feet are a clear example of this. On the right foot, the scar is more subtle, but still causes issues. On the left foot, where the stitches broke during healing, it's even trickier because the irregular scar tissue left the area more vulnerable. So here's a golden tip. Before considering surgery, see a podiatrist. With techniques like the ones we're using today, along with protective pads, orthotics, or proper footwear, you can manage calluses without invasive procedures. And of course, maintenance is key. Moisturizing your feet daily, avoiding flip-flops, and choosing shoes that don't cause friction make all the difference. Now, let's tackle the left foot, which also had surgery and has a similar story. Here, the scar is even more prominent, and the patient says that after the surgery, the stitches broke, leading to uneven healing. This left the area very hard, almost like a rock under the skin. When I run my hand over it, I can feel the difference in texture. The scar is raised and the callus around it is quite thick. On the big toe of the left foot, we have another callus with a core, very similar to the one on the right foot. The patient says the pain here is just as bad, especially when she walks for a long time. As I shave it down, I notice the keratin is even distorting the skin's natural texture, a sign of how long this callus has been forming. Look at that. Once I remove the thicker layer, you can see healthier skin underneath. It's so rewarding to see this transformation. On the sole of the left foot, we have a more spread out callus, but thankfully it doesn't have a core. That's good news because it means there's no intense pressure point. The shaving process here is smoother and the patient feels immediate relief. I'm applying a small protective pad to reduce friction in this area, which will help prevent new calluses from forming. As I continue the treatment, I notice the patient is much more relaxed. At the start, she was tensing up a lot because of the pain, but now with the calluses shaved down, her feet are feeling more comfortable. On the right foot, we finished the big toe and the side, and now I'm working on the heel, where there's a lot of callus buildup. There's no core here, but the skin is very thick from the weight she puts on it when walking. It's amazing how much keratin can build up, right? On the left foot, I'm wrapping up the scar area. We have to be extra careful here because scar tissue is less flexible. I'm using a gentle technique to avoid irritating the skin, And the patient says, she's already feeling less pressure. Look at how much more even the skin is looking. After shaving, I apply a moisturizing cream to soften the area and place protective pads on the most sensitive spots. This will help reduce friction in the coming days. Before we wrap up, here are a few tips for those of you watching who might be dealing with calluses or want to prevent them. Moisturize daily. Use a foot-specific moisturizer every day, especially on dry areas like the heels and sides of your feet. This keeps the skin soft and prevents keratin buildup. Choose the right shoes. Avoid flip-flops and tight shoes. Go for footwear with good ventilation and support to evenly distribute your body weight. Don't mess with calluses at home. Trying to cut or file calluses yourself can lead to infections or worsen the problem. Leave it to a podiatrist. See a podiatrist regularly. Even if you don't have calluses now, a preventive checkup can spot pressure points and help avoid issues down the road. Use protective pads or orthotics. If you already have calluses, silicone pads or custom orthotics can reduce friction and pressure on sensitive areas. So, what did you all think of this journey? We got an up-close look at how podiatry can transform the lives of people dealing with calluses, even in complex cases like our patients, with surgical scars on both feet. With precise techniques, ongoing care, and the patient's cooperation, we were able to reduce her pain and improve the health of her feet. And the best part? No invasive procedures needed! If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next videos. We'll be doing another session with this patient, and I'll be back to show you the results of her third cleanup. Drop a comment below. Have you ever dealt with something like this? Got any questions about foot care? Let me know and I'll answer. A huge thanks to our patient for sharing her story and to all of you for watching. Until next time, take care of your feet.